There, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kathy, and today I want to talk about traveling with your bread. I don't know how many people think about that, but once you start milling your flour and making your own bread products, and you learn all of the health benefits and how much better you feel with your bread, I think you'll want to travel with it. I travel for my day job and sometimes, usually, a week at a time. So when I am traveling, I am not going to go a full week without my bread, just because the health benefits are so great for me that if I know if I went 2 to 3 days without it, I would start reversing some of the great results that I've seen in the 3 months that I've been milling and making freshly milled bread products. So I wanted to share with you a few container choices, when I would use them, and I'm actually going away for 3 days, and we will be in our car. So that, of course, opens me up to more flexibility, more options. When I'm flying, of course, I have to be thoughtful of where is the bread going to be, how is it going to be stored and, protected. So if you have any whatever size container that is firm enough to resist, especially in my case, I will put Ezekiel bread or muffins, probably more like a loaf bread of any kind, that I will want for the whole week in something like this. It's about 4 by 6 inches, has a really firm snap on firm, it's leak proof, but what I'm putting in it isn't going to leak anyway. But I will pack this full of a slice for each morning, and put it in my suitcase and send it that way. And I just insulate it in between, my travel pillow and clothing, whatever I know will keep it safe from the abuse that our luggage takes when we're traveling through airports. Something like this, single serving, same thing. It's very firm. It's going to take some abuse if it needs to, but something this size I would have in my purse or my carry-on bag, and probably, again, one slice of something or a muffin. And funny story with this, I would travel with oatmeal in on my trip both ways in the morning, because that was what I would eat for my gut health. And the one thing a tip here, if you want to travel with pre-made oatmeal, in my case, the airports that I've been through, it will pull your bag. They will pull your bag through TSA every time. There's something about oatmeal that their scanners just do not like. And I thought I would be smart one time and not put it in the bag, but sit it outside of my bag, thinking that it wouldn't be pulled for that reason. And no, it still was. And I remember the agent just being beside himself that I was traveling with oatmeal. He couldn't process that I had oatmeal in this container. So he was swiping it for residue and just trying to decide if he was going to let me through. And finally they did. So that is just, I have to say, it's much easier to travel through with prepared bread. I'm not exactly sure why, because they're both dense. Seems like they would show up odd on the scanner, so I don't know. But yeah, I'm enjoying traveling with my muffin or my slices of bread and not having to be pulled through TSA. And then this is another container. It's a bit softer, so it's not going to take as much abuse. But I can put, in this case, I'm going to put my 6 rolls. I made rolls, and for this trip we're taking, we're going to grill a couple times, and I know we're going to do sandwiches. So this is just a way that I know that my husband and I are going to have what we need for sandwiches and burgers while we are gone on this short trip but long weekend. So, and all of these fit in here just perfectly. And I know that since we're traveling in the car, I don't have to be as thoughtful about it being as rigid, the plastic. And the thing is with this too, you could probably put them, if you again are able to keep eye on them, and protect them, you could put them in just a zip top bag. And yeah, I will not leave home without my bread. in some form or fashion. I usually try to do, again, Ezekiel bread, something that is more nutritious, that is really going to satisfy me. But just as another note, if you choose to implement freshly milled flour into your diet, it's amazing how satisfied you are, because I think it's the nutrients. We're getting so many nutrients in a serving of fresh bread that it's satisfying that requirement. At least I know for me. I don't seem to be seeking as much food. I feel satisfied. I can have one muffin, one slice of Ezekiel bread and for breakfast, and I'm good for several hours. So just a thought there. When you want to think about what you're traveling with. The other thing too you can maybe think about is tortillas. I will make tortillas, and that's something small. It's not going to get damaged if you slip it into a bag, again, into your suitcase or your carry-on. And if you happen to be staying somewhere where it has breakfast, you can easily make yourself a breakfast burrito. That is an option. I don't find that as satisfying, and I don't feel like I'm getting as many nutrients as I do from Ezekiel bread or a nice hearty muffin, because those bread products have egg and milk and other components, oil, honey, whereas if I do a tortilla, it's pretty much just water, flour, and oil. So thinking of nutrient density and how satisfied you're going to be with what you're eating is where, what is what I'm thinking when I'm deciding what to pack. I have, in this case, we're taking the buns. I have muffins in the oven when they come out. Of course, going to let them cool really well, and I'll probably stack those. I can get 4 in this container easily, or maybe this larger container so I can take a few more, have a few more to share while we're traveling. Oh, and then the other thing I wanted to mention, on the health journey in the 3 months of freshly milled flour and consuming bread products, I had cholesterol taken in June, and I told it, and it was running a little high. I think my LDL was 164, triglycerides were 225, and HDL was 37. And I said to my doctor, I'm doing freshly milled flour and I know it's going to take care of my cholesterol. I'm not worried about it, as she was trying to get me to go on a statin. And I said, let's check it again in 3 months. Or I was thinking maybe like 6 was more like where I was going, but she wanted to check it 3 months later. So checked it in September, so just a couple weeks ago. And it's great. I told her, I said, see, I told you, freshly milled flour is the answer. My triglycerides dropped from 225 to 118. The LDL from 164 to 126. And the HDL even went up 2 points. Yeah, so everything looked good. All she could do was send me a message through my chart, or their version of it. They don't use my chart, but all she could do was send me a message and say your cholesterol looks great. So your freshly milled flour is working. And I said, thanks, yay, I agree, it is. And I hope that you will appreciate that and start sharing it with your other patients, as opposed to talking statins all the time. I know someone else, I just heard a story. She was in the same position. Her cholesterol was higher, talking about statins. She started freshly milled flour, cholesterol came way down. As you might see, we have muffins out. I had to take a second to get the muffins out of the oven. They are beautiful. They rose perfectly, and let those cool for a few minutes and then decide, take them out of this, put them on a cooling rack, and in a couple hours I'll decide what travel package they're going to go in. But to finish the other story, the lady said that her doctor he's milling his own grain. So I think that's how we're going to slowly change the world. One interaction with our doctor at a time. If we prove to them through blood pressure, diabetes, weight, high blood pressure, I think maybe I already said, if we prove to them through our results that we can be successful and that it works, then they can adopt it in their practice, and then hopefully they will share the message. The only concern at that point then, can the milling companies, the companies who make the grain mills, can they keep up? Since it seems like right now everybody's trying, at least in the groups I follow on social media, everybody's trying to find a mill and they're all sold out. So on that note, I think that's everything to share about Have Bread Will Travel and my cholesterol results, which I am super excited about. We will close out with our devotional. And today it is open your mind and heart, your entire being to receive. My love is full measure. So many of my children limp through their lives starved for love because they haven't learned the art of receiving. This is essentially an act of faith, believing that I love you with boundless, everlasting love. The art of receiving is also a discipline, training your mind. I can agree to that. To trust me, coming close to me with confidence. Remember that the evil one is the father of lies. Learn to recognize his deceptive intrusions into your thoughts. One of his favorite deceptions is to undermine your confidence in my unconditional love. Fight back against these lies. Do not let me go unchallenged. Do not let them go unchallenged. Resist the devil in my name, and he will shrink away from you. Draw near to me, and my presence will envelop you in love. The chapters and verses: Ephesians 3, verse 16 through 19, Hebrews 4, 14 through 16, John 8, verse 44, and James 4 through 7 and 8. And I haven't seen this from her, but in that James 4 through 7, 8, she specifically says New King James Version. So versioning, we know there can be just some nuance. So she thought that it was strong enough to call that out. I hope this has blessed you. I hope learning to travel with bread, the importance of it, taking it with you to keep that nutrition in your system, has blessed you. And if you like this video and it helped you, I hope you'll share it, like it. If you want to subscribe, come back and see me. I look forward to sharing more with you about bread and whole foods. Thanks. Take care.